Step Kid Radio with Matt McGill. Weekday mornings, 6 until 9 on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Super athlete Marion Jones and her book On the Right Track. Marion is on the live line with us right now. Marion, welcome to WVON. And how does it feel, obviously, being an athlete all your life and now you're an author and you're going around telling your story. This is a little different from you. How does it feel to be doing this? And, of course, coming to Chicago and participating in the Take Back Your Life Women's Seminar.
Well, good morning, Matt. Good morning, Ann. Thank you for having me on the show. I'm just so thrilled, really, I'll be honest with you. I have had quite the journey thus far in my 35 years of living, and I really thought that it was important that I give back. I have, throughout this journey, made some mistakes in my life, as we all do, and I'm at a point now where it's how can I make these rights a wrong? How can I change things to help people? And when I was approached by the Take Back Your Life folks to share my story, to hopefully be an inspiration and provide tools to women on how to empower themselves and strengthen themselves and pick themselves up when they're at the lowest of the lows. And I'm a testament to that, because just a few years ago, Matt, I was at the lowest of the low, and I found a way through faith and through setting goals to climb myself out and be a success again.
Yeah, you know what? And one word to describe what you, went through and how you handled it was courageous. You did it in a courageous way. And, it's hard to deal with, the issue of performance-enhancing drugs and being an athlete that everybody looks up to and admire. We've seen other athletes just continue to be in denial about it and not getting to the point where you came forward, you came clean, and you've turned this into a story of redemption and inspiration and a learning story. There are a lot of young athletes out there, boys and girls, that are going to be benefiting from your story, Marion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. It's funny because it gets even bigger than this whole idea of sports. It gets to the point where you talk about life and the decisions that we make can affect the rest of our lives. There are consequences to the decisions that we make in the life, and we all have to be responsible for them. What I'm sharing in my book is that if you slow down before you have to make that decision that could make or break you, for lack of better words, stop, take a break, take a step back, and really think about what you're doing. Because most of us, barring some type of mental illness, knows the difference between right and wrong, Matt. Mm-hmm. So if we slow down and we really think about it, even our young people know the difference. And you think about, if I go this route, it might lead me here. If I do this, it might lead me here. When you take a break, maybe even call or consult an advisor, a lifelong friend, somebody who has real life experience, and then make a well thought out, rational decision about whatever you're doing, then it can really help you make better decisions in your life. And that's what it comes down to. It's this whole story of mine, even 12, 15, 20 years from now, Matt, when Marion Jones and people have forgot about the story, if I'm just a little blurb in a history book, I think the message will transcend that, and that's what I wanted when I've been through all this. I never wanted to write a book, a nasty tell-all type of book that is really only going to benefit the author financially for a couple of months. I wanted to write something that is going to transcend time and that are going to help young people and people of all ages for years to come, even when Marion Jones, the name, fades from people's minds and they don't know who I am anymore. This is something that can help people years from now, and that's what I wanted to do.
Marion, I know that you're a mom yourself, and yes. I have a couple questions. First of all, are your kids athletic? And what do you say to all the children out there that are in sports, and there is so much pressure today to do well, and so many people are using, especially in track and field, the performance-enhancing drugs. how do you give the kids the willpower to not do it, especially when the playing field really isn't even?
Mm-hmm. Well, yes, I have 3 little ones. I have a 7-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 15-month-old little girl.
Oh,
wow.
You're busy. God bless you.
Yeah, I'm a busy woman, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's a challenge being a, professional woman and to be a mom, but, we find a way to make it. And people always ask me, how do you do it? Well, it's all that I know. So you make it work. You make it happen. And in terms of their athletic gifts, obviously just looking at them, there's something gifted and special about them. But my husband and I, we believe in just kind of letting God, mold them and keeping the faith that, everything in their life will really be secure. And if they happen to be gifted athletically, we'll support and nurture that. But certainly is not, the most important thing in our lives. To answer your second question, and yeah, we live in a society that really puts so much emphasis on being number one. That's just how we live. Everybody wants to be the best. You want to be number one. And what I would encourage parents, first of all, is to really monitor your child's sport of choice, their coaches. Make sure that the athlete understands that he or she they can ask questions. They don't have to be mute. Learn, ask the coach why he or she is asking them to do certain things. Ask the coach, engage them in dialogue. That would be probably the first thing that I would recommend to parents to share with their young people. Have them be vocal. It's one of the things, that I wish I had been told years ago, that, for so long they taught athletes that you just have to be quiet, don't say anything, and the coach decides everything. I got caught into this thing of you don't ask questions. You just kind of accept that the coach is going to do the best thing for you, and it's not always like that. So Ann, that's what I would recommend, first of all, for the parents that are, really, really trying to shape and mold their young people into be these superstar athletes. But make sure you arm the child with the tools to be the best. And the first thing to do is to share with them that you ask questions of your coach. You don't be rude, you don't be disrespectful, but you ask questions so that you can learn and what's going on.
And that really is just a rule of being a parent, period. You ask questions of your kid's school teacher. You ask in every facet of you ask them questions on a regular basis. Every facet of their lives as a parent, you should be asking questions of the people who are around your children, period.
Absolutely, Matt, yeah.
On every level. I'm looking at these pictures. I got to tell you, because, Marion is so adorable. You have like this little, this face that is just like, oh, look at Marion Jones. Oh, and so, I have was just a total fan of yours. And so I'm kind of looking through some pictures of yours now. And I have to tell you, I have no problem saying this because I cry at the drop of a hat. And watching you at that press conference with tears come down, I was watching that just crying my eyes out, man. I was just feeling your emotions so much. And then you've got this little girl face too, and you were crying. But you know what? It was just all of your emotion was just coming out. It was a moment for it all to come out too. And sometimes that happens. It comes out when the whole world is watching.
Right. And Matt, wherever I go, people share a similar story with me because God has blessed me with this certain ability to connect with people on a really, really interesting level, in that people, when they approach me, when they talk to me, they think they know me. Sure. Just because of that, because I have this look of innocence, right? Mm-hmm. And what I hope it tells people is that, things can happen no matter who you are, right? I'm Marion Jones, Matt. Nothing ever was supposed to happen to me. And you know what? I made some bad decisions, and it cost me so much. So when I get up and I speak to young people, and I speak to people, I'm a living testimony that you got to be careful. That you got to be careful of the decisions you make. Things can happen if you don't do the right thing.
Step Kid Radio with Matt McGill. Weekday mornings, 6 until 9 on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.